Hello, everybody. Just gonna pin the title here. How is everyone doing? Happy Sunday. Just pinning the title here. So this is gonna be a fun day because not only are we doing like 2 insane giveaways today, but this is the first time that I'm doing my Sunday brunch live by myself since the very beginning when this whole thing happened. Hey Jadot, Jadot is on. I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining in. I can't hear you. Can everybody else hear me? Is there a mic issue? Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can hear me now. So yeah, welcome to Sunday Brunch. Today we're going to be chatting about a topic, a region that I am very passionate about, that I was always super scared to talk about or to drink. Hey Shakira, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, so we're talking about Burgundy or Bourgogne in France, in French as they say. So, you know, in other regions around France, we say it the way that the French say it, but for some reason in Bourgogne, we say Burgundy. But we should probably practice saying Bourgogne, which is actually really hard to say with the guttural R there. But again, thank you all who are popping on here. I haven't done a Sunday brunch solo in so many weeks, but I'm really, really excited to chat with you all today. I'm here with Louis Jadot, and you know what? We're gonna make Burgundy Bourgogne approachable today. So, you know, when I first started Grape Chic a few years back, I thought I knew a little bit about wine, and I wanted to make sure that I could relay what I knew and make it really approachable for everybody. And then the more I started learning, the more I realized that I actually didn't know anything about wine. So it was good. It was a good realization because it forced me to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And it helped me relay the information to you guys and make it just super clear, super fun, inviting. Let's not make it so scary. And when you start learning a little bit more about wine, you realize that there are certain regions around the world, maybe some misconceptions that might be a little intimidating, including Burgundy. That was one always for me that I was always really scared to kind of go towards. But the more you break it down and the more you just learn about it, the more you realize that it is just another beautiful wine region producing amazing wines. So today I'm here with Louis Jadot, and we are gonna do a fun little 101. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And also if you guys, I'm just gonna wave to a couple of you here. Oh, whoops, I just turned my camera around. If you guys are drinking Jadot today, like please request to be on the video and share with me what bottle you opened and share your notes. I actually have 2 wines open, but we'll get to that in a minute. I am double fisting, as I tend to do on Sundays. So here we go. So not only do these wines demand some of the highest prices in the marketplace, but Burgundy also has some of the most AOCs in all of France, which is also super intimidating, right? So they used to have 100 AOCs, which is like a designated controlled area of origin. And they've managed to whittle it down to 84 over the past couple years. They've kind of combined a few things here and there. But the big question is, why are there so many AOCs in Bourgogne when we're really only chatting about Chardonnay and Pinot Noir? So yes, Shakira, double fisting, it's classy because we're doing it in a tasting, exactly. So of course there are other grapes in this region. There is Aligoté, you know, which is like a kind of a neutral high acid. It's a really fun grape, a nice easy drinking grape. And then up in the north, you'll find Sauvignon Blanc up there by near Chablis, outside of Chablis. But really, when we are talking about Bourgogne, we are talking about Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So why are there so many friggin' AOCs when we have these 2 grapes? Well, the thing about Burgundy, Bourgogne, is that Chardonnay and Pinot Noir express themselves completely different, whether it's soil, gradient, aspect, altitude, latitude from north to south, and also in winemaking styles too. And you'll find throughout Burgundy that there are different winemaking styles to accentuate the terroir. But really, when you're talking about Bourgogne, you're really talking about terroir. And it goes back, right? We're talking like back in the day before the French Revolution, back in the 13th, 14th century, when the church really ruled the country. You know, they would talk about how the Pope would get wines from Burgundy from the mid slope, and then the bishops and cardinals would get from the upper slope and from the village. We'll get to that in a minute because it's kind of interesting, and I don't want to bore you too much with history, but let's start in the north with Chablis. So who here loves Chablis as much as me? Yes, Michael's raising his hands. So here we have a Chablis. So the wines here are racy, and they possess this like beautiful acidity. They're hallmarked by minerality and flintiness. There's a nervousness to them, and they really vibrate. They're really exciting. Like I'm honestly like obsessed with Chablis, and this is an excellent Chablis to get, especially when you are just kind of starting to navigate the region. This Jadot, Chablis is definitely a favorite of mine. So why is Chablis like this? So it has a continental climate that's influenced by the Atlantic. So the landscape is flat and the winds kind of sweep through, and this brings some cloud cover, which also lowers the temperatures and slows the ripening process down. So this results in these high acid wines with a little bit more of a reserved aromatic profile. So what do I mean by that? When I stick my nose in this glass, which is delightful, I get a beautiful clean fruit. We're gonna go through the tasting notes in a minute. It's not super punchy aromatic like maybe a Sauvignon Blanc would be. And part of that is the grape, and part of that is just where it's from. And also, guys, like I said, if I miss any questions, can we get the wines once it's over? Well, I will definitely tell you how. And we have Jadot with us, who can also help you out with that. But go ahead and pop all your questions in the question box, and I will definitely try and answer as much as I can. So we are talking about Chardonnay. So Chablis, you see the word Chablis on a label, you know that it's Chardonnay. So Bourgogne can be very confusing, right? Because for the general consumer, we're used to seeing a grape variety. You know, we have and so Jadot just released the 2018 vintage as well, just so you guys know. So, you know, here in the New World and in other parts of the world as well, we're used to seeing the grape variety on the label. So we know automatically kind of what to expect. With Burgundy, part of the reason why it can be a little bit intimidating is because we're talking about a place rather than a grape. So when you see Chablis, just make sure you know that we are talking about Chardonnay here, but it just has a very specific profile, which is probably my favorite profile. So for those who say, this is my favorite. So for those who say, I don't like Chardonnay, and I know you're out there right now, I think that you would find this one here the opposite of what you ever thought Chardonnay was in general. You know, sometimes we tend to think that Chardonnay are these overbearing, heavy, buttery, oaky, big wines that were like, you know, getting all the popularity back in the 80s, you know, from Napa. That couldn't be further from the truth when we're talking about Chablis. So if you are somebody out there that says, I don't like Chardonnay, I dare you right now to go on wine.com and pick up a Chablis. Pick up a Jadot Chablis. It's it's great value. It is very reasonably priced. And you will understand what I'm saying. So let's talk a little bit about what I get on the nose here. So considering everything I just said with the climate and all of that, let's have a sniff here. And right away, I get this bright citrus, lemon lime. I get some green apple. I definitely get a minerality or like a bit of a flintiness here. And I definitely think there was not really any oak here unless it was like really old neutral oak, but there's definitely a nice kind of raw bread dough to it. So I think that there was some lees aging. So for those of you who don't know what lees aging means, it's basically when fermentation is completed, the dead yeast cells kind of sit at the bottom. And when you age the wine on the dead yeast cells, they're called lees, the winemaker can go ahead and stir those around. It's called batonnage, the lee stirring, and it kind of gives this beautiful brioche or bread dough sometimes. Sometimes it's yogurt. Here it's definitely a doughy kind of sense. And so when you take a sip, all of those beautiful notes I found on the nose carry through to the palate, but those lees really give you a nice round feeling. So it's not like, and like, don't get me wrong, I do love a good Pinot Grigio from like Veneto or from Alto Adige, but this is gonna really definitely separate itself from that because you get a nice weight to the palate and it's really beautiful. Croissant, exactly. That's another classic lees note. So what else is important to know about Chablis? The soils, of course. You know I'm a soil nerd. Would it be a dry bread dough or a moist bread dough? You know, it's like, I don't know if you guys have Wegmans, but where I grew up, Wegmans is a grocery store, and they used to sell this pizza dough in a bag, and then you could just go home, roll it out, and make pizza. It reminds me of when I was younger and I would make homemade pizza with my mom, and she would open up the dough for the pizza, and it's a little bit wet, and you can smell the inside, and that's kind of what I get. It's like a weird thing, but I guess, yeah, that's kind of how I associate it with. So the soils, right? So there's two main soils found here, Kimmeridgian soil and Portlandian marl. So Kimmeridgian soil is found in the Grand Cru and Premier Cru part of the slope. And we're gonna get to that in a minute, and I promise I'm not gonna be like, love Wegmans so much, oh my God, me too. I promise I'm not gonna bore you to death with everything, but it matters, right? Because Kimmeridgian soil is found mid-slope and just above mid-slope. These are limestones. This is a limestone marl from the Jurassic time. So you have a lot of these sea oysters, seashells from the Jurassic time that have basically embedded into these big limestone rocks. So this is what gives these wines this beautiful minerality, this racy acidity, this concentration and depth that we all love in Chablis. And then you have Portlandian marl, which is found in the village, or the bottom layers, Petit Chablis, village, and so forth. And still, again, it's going to be beautiful expression, very similar, but it's not going to have that kind of like power like a Premier Cru or Grand Cru. So soils do make a difference, and that's why the French are always like terroir, 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 because it totally makes a difference. It matters. So before we move to the Côte d'Or, and I go through that really quickly, I want to do the first giveaway. What do you guys think? I think we should do it. And I just got a question, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have my spreadsheet up. I'm gonna pop on my iPad and I'm gonna do a random number generator here. And I hope that whoever name comes up is here, because that would suck. So we're gonna give away the Zaltos first. 2 universal Zalto glasses. So I have my random number generator here. I'm gonna generate a number, 94. Let's go on the spreadsheet to number 94. Bella Blue Bridal. Is Bella Blue Bridal here? I'm gonna give you like a minute, and if not, we move on to the next. Bella Blue Bridal. No, going once. Going twice. No Bella Blue Bridal? Côte d'Or, that's amazing. Côte d'Or.
She's there.
They're there, She's here. Great. Oh my gosh, you won 2 universal Zolto glasses. Congratulations. You can go ahead and DM me your information, and then I will pass it over to Jadot. I guess we can do it that way. So go ahead and DM me your name and your address, and we'll make sure to get those to you. Congratulations. That is awesome. So let's move on. Don't forget, we have a $100 wine.com gift card to give away in a little bit. We are like halfway through, and this is really, really exciting. So yes, it sounded like I said Côte d'Or. I probably did say Dior because I'm missing all of my bags back home. So that's fine. Who else is missing their bags and their like fancy stuff? Like I'm really missing my stuff, you know, that I used to wear out and to just like wear out to the West Village and whatnot. Man, I really miss that stuff. Anyways, moving on. I had a question about, someone had asked me if the vineyards were affected by the recent frost in Chablis, and I'm actually not 100% sure. I don't know if Jadot can answer that question. But yes, so many good shoes for sure sitting there. If Jadot can answer that question, if not, I'll make sure to find out for you. I do have a couple producer friends out there that I could probably ask for you. So we're gonna move on to the Côte d'Or, which is split into 2, right? So you have the Côte de Nuit in the north, and you have the Côte de Beaune in the south. So you have like some of the most powerful expressions of Pinot Noir in the north, and then you have these like beautifully elegant Chardonnays in the Côte de Beaune. And I wanna introduce you to the next 2 wines here that are considered regional wines. So we have Chardonnay. So this is really great. When you're not sure and you don't know Chablis, oh my gosh, I forgot, I don't remember what that grape is. Here you go. Here's a regional wine. It just says Chardonnay Bourgogne. So a lot of times in Burgundy, it'll just say like Bourgogne. And so you just need to know that it's a regional wine and that it's either Chardonnay or it's Pinot Noir. So this is the Chardonnay, and what's really, really great about Jadot is that they make it really easy for us because they give us a ton of information on the back of the label. We'll get to that in a minute. And then the other one I have here today is Bourgogne Pinot Noir. So these are what we call regional wines. So that means that these wines can be made from grapes grown anywhere within Bourgogne. It's typically a blend of terroir. It demonstrates regional typicity. Example, the wine tastes like it's from Bourgogne, and not Russian River Valley or not, anywhere else in the world. And this qualification represents 52% of Bourgogne's total production. So it's a huge number. That's over half of all the production in Bourgogne is this regional level wine. Like I said, it'll usually just say Bourgogne on the label. And you can see on the bottom that they wrote Beaune here. It's maybe a little bit blurry. So that means that this wine was bottled in that village in the Côte de Beaune. And like I said, which is great about Jadot is they give you a lot of information on the back of these labels. So it kind of takes the guesswork out when you're shopping for wine. So I'm going to read just on the back of this. It tells us that this wine is Maconnais fruits blended with Côte Chalonnais and Côte d'Or, aged in stainless steel for 12 months, 100% Chardonnay. So you know exactly what to expect, which is great. It takes, like I said, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and it takes a lot of the intimidation out of it. You read the back and there it is, right in front of your face. So it's excellent. So there's another hierarchy, right? So we're talking about these wines that are regional wines. And so after you are at regional wine, we go to village wine. So village wines are wines that are made from grapes grown within a specific zone of production surrounding a specific village within Bourgogne. From there, we go to Premier Cru. Premier Cru represents a single vineyard or climat with a reputation for producing high quality wines. The name of the vineyard usually appears on the label along with the village name and the words Premier Cru. That's important to know. It'll say Premier Cru or 1ER Cru. And so then, of course, there is the king of all kings, the Grand Cru, the wine of the popes. And this represents a single vineyard with a reputation of producing truly exceptional wines. I mean, I've tasted Grand Cru Burgundy maybe just a handful of times in my life. And it was luck because I was invited to a couple events with some pretty crazy, awesome collectors, and it's pretty intense, and also something I will never forget. So if you have a chance to ever try this Grand Cru Bourgogne, I promise you won't forget it. So the name of the vineyard appears on the label along with the words Grand Cru. There are 33 Grand Cru, and they're responsible for just 2% of the production. So that's insane. 2% of the production is Grand Cru. So if you've never had a Grand Cru Bourgogne before, don't worry. There's only 2% made of production. Chances are there's most people that have never had a Grand Cru Bourgogne. But I will tell you, not that we're talking about them today, but Louis Jadot does have a ton of Premier and Grand Cru wines. So like I said, if you are kind of swimming in the pool of, you got some extra cash and you really want to experience something truly special and once in a lifetime, or something to save for your anniversary or your kids or something else, again, you can go on wine.com or any other, call your local shop, and I'm sure they'd be able to get you some Jadot Grand Cru. Really, really, really special. So basically, the hierarchy here is based on terroir. This is where the vines grow on the slope. So Premier Cru vineyards, so if you look at my hand as a slope, Premier Cru vineyards are going to be like right here, right above the Grand Cru, which are going to be just in the middle of the slope. So the reason why Grand Cru is in the middle of the slope is because it has a moderate amount of topsoil and receives an adequate amount of water, enough that it needs, but the rest drain off because you need some poor soils there. And these vineyards are usually south-southeast facing, so they catch that morning sun. So they get the best of everything. They get like the best sunlight, they get the best exposure, they get, a weak soil that kind of drains the water down, but it retains what it needs. So these are just producing the best. So that is kind of where the hierarchy is. And then as you go down, you have your village level and so on and so forth. So, it's just important to know these wines are great, easy drinking, everyday wines. You don't have to spend $1 million to drink. So if you're like, I want a Bourgogne, I want a Pinot Noir tonight, and I'm not trying to spend $50, $60, $70, if you want to understand, reach out, get a regional wine from Jadot. These, Jadot, like I always say, Jadot is the benchmark of Burgundy. For anyone that's like, man, I want to start like dipping my toes in the Bourgogne pond, start here with Jadot, because you can basically taste across so many different bottles, so many different villages, so many different, Premier Cru, whatever you want to do and however you want it to introduce yourself. Jadot is literally the benchmark in how I first started, like I said, dipping my toes in the Burgundy pond. It's the best way to learn the region. It's the best way to start learning about terroir in Burgundy, and what terroir means and why it's different and where it's different. I'm so there at your tasting room. Yes, Tom, me too. Yes. Okay. Yes, you don't have to spend a fortune. That's the thing. These are great everyday wines. So what would I eat with these things? Really, like I said, everyday wines. The Chardonnay, you could do something like a grilled chicken or a salmon, or it's a great for barbecue, as with the Pinot Noir. Pork, if you don't eat pork, also grilled chicken. You could do Pinot Noir here is light enough to where it really won't overpower the food, and it has enough acidity to really match with a ton of different dishes. So like I said, great everyday wines. You're stuck, I don't know what to buy, or if you're doing a dinner party when this whole mess is over, two great wines to really just bring to your dinner party. So we're almost to the point where we pick the next winner. Roast chicken, rice wine, pork turkey burgers. Oh, that sounds so good. Pork turkey burgers. I'm all about that. Sorry if I've missed some of your comments here. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm used to having somebody else with me. So while they're chatting, I can like scour the comments, but now it's just me, but that's okay. So we're gonna move south from the Côte d'Or and we're gonna reach the Côte Chalonnaise. So Chalonnaise. You can find some excellent bang for your buck here. And we're passing through this before we hit our final region of the Mackinac. I don't have any Côte Chalonnaise wine with me today, but definitely something to explore. They are really, really fun wines. You can get some cool sparkling wines from Rouy, and some other great expressions of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay down there as well. Definitely easy on the wallet. So also check with your local wine shop on Côte Chalonnaise. I was right the first time. That's good. So we're in the Mackinac now, which is towards in the south. We have different soils here. We have a different climate here. It's crazy. We're still in Burgundy, but we've managed to go from like the very top where it's like continental and chilly with there's threat of frost, and we're down in the Mackinac now, and the Mackinac, the climate here is influenced by the Mediterranean. So sunshine is abundant and the temperatures can get quite warm, and it sounds like a place that I want to be right now because it just sounds lovely. Although today is some beautiful weather where I'm at. Jadot says, by the way, some bragging rights. Louis Jadot Pinot Noir Bourgogne was named a top 100 wine of 2018 by Wine Spectator. So there you guys go. If you guys are curious, this is what the wine looks like. Very, very easily, you can go on to wine.com or contact your local shop, and I'm sure they'll be able to get you this wine. That's excellent, excellent information and great news. So the Chardonnay here, which we're really, really talking about Chardonnay because it has this like really, really great, cool, unique expression. We're talking about riper grapes. We're talking about pronounced fruit aromas and some pronounced flavors. I have two bottles that I want to chat about. The first one, Mecon Village. This is excellent value here, honestly. Wines labeled Mecon Village can only be white, and they can only come from one or any combination of the villages. So that's a key factor here when you're looking at the label. These wines are generally similar in style to a white Mecon, but they tend to display a little bit more ripeness, a little bit more body, a little bit more character. And of course, on the back, again, Jadot makes it really easy for us. Produced in the Mackinac region of Burgundy, which is well suited to the Chardonnay grape. It is made without oak contact in order to maximize the vibrant flavor. So that's how you know. Nice and easy. There's no guessing game here. You'll probably have a very, very ripe tropical type of fruit and a ripe fleshy stone fruit, but you're not going to have any oak influence here. So it's going to be pure fruit. And it might have some nice weight on the palate, but it's not going to be oaky. It's not going to be overbearing like that. Just really, really just pure varietal Chardonnay. So that is the Mecon Village. And then the next one is my favorite. Well, one of my favorite, but my favorite of the Mecon. I'm just going to grab it in a minute. Here, Puy-Fusé. So I was joking around earlier and I was saying Puy-Fusé is Bay because I was just really, really enjoying this wine. And I think that Tom is drinking it as well. Sarah says Mecon is my perfect weeknight wine. It really is. It's excellent value from the Mecon. And let's see, Wine Diva says another dry one perfect to pair with salmon. Absolutely, 1000%. So Puy-Fusé is Bay. We have a couple people drinking it, which I love. So again, here, we're getting tropical. We're getting that sunshine. We are getting banana, pineapple, peach, melon. And this is really the flagship of the Mackinac. So these vines are planted on limestone slopes of the Roche de Solutre. I don't know if I said that, but Dalkia Loves Wine is here, and she's from Paris, so she could maybe shed light on that. So these are amphitheater-like slopes and they act as natural sun traps. So they produce some of the richest, ripest Chardonnays in Bourgogne. Many times they're accompanied by these toasty oak flavors. I can tell you right now, on the nose, I get a beautiful grilled pineapple. I get a fleshy melon. I get a super ripe peach. There's a little banana in there, but I also get a toasty oak, a warm kind of vanilla, some baking spice. I mean, this thing is begging for like a little food. You can drink this without food, but this is like, I would drink this with like a seafood pasta and like a cream sauce or a butter sauce, grilled or heartier meats, again, like a bone-in chicken thigh or something like a little heartier. This is absolutely delicious. And if anybody else is drinking this wine or is drinking a Jadot wine and wants to pop on, please don't hesitate to do so. And so I'm gonna have, so somebody actually asked a question, and I'm gonna have Jadot go ahead and answer this because I don't wanna say the wrong thing. So Texas Wine Pilot wants to know what the difference for Jadot is between Vineyard's Own versus source grapes. Are they mostly one or the other? So I will let Jadot go ahead and answer that. And it is almost time for the final giveaway. But before we do the final giveaway, I hope you learned something, a little bit, something small about Bourgogne. You know, I think what I really wanted to get across here, and my big point was that you have these two grapes. You have two totally different expressions moving from north to south, from top of the slope to bottom of the slope, so on and so forth. That terroir is really the driving factor in what's in your glass, and that you can find approachable Bourgogne that you can have on your dinner table during the week, on the weekends, whenever it is. That is the point here. And for, like I said, for those that are dying to kind of, you're getting the Bourgogne itch and you want to start learning, Jadot is the best place to start. Like I said, they are the benchmark of Bourgogne. They have wine for any occasion and honestly, any kind of, any place on the map in Bourgogne that you are very curious about, you can find with Jadot, which I love. So thanks, guys. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna do the final giveaway. Here we go. This is a $100 wine.com gift card because we are all inside and we all need $100 worth of wine, and you can go on and you can buy like a good amount of bottles. Let's see. Number 42. Number 42. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Thanks, Amy. 42. Yummy Tablas. Is Yummy Tablas here? YUMMYTABLAS. We'll give them a minute. And definitely stay on. Don't pop off, because if they don't answer in like a minute or two, we go on to the next person, which could be you. By the way, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it is like 78 degrees where I am in North Carolina today, and I cannot wait to take the rest of my Chablis outside to the patio and freaking have some snacks. Like, it sounds so awesome right now. Okay, so I don't think Yummy Tablas is here. So I know Sling Magic Fishing, I will also claim it if they don't claim it. Okay, let's go on to the next person. Generating the next number, number 71. Oh, it's the same in New York. Oh, I miss New York. I miss the New York it was though, you know? Okay. BK Pinkin Green. BK PINKNGREEN. BK Pink in Green. Are you here for a $100 gift card? Heading to the deck with my roof, oh, my roof deck with my Jadot. I do miss a good rooftop. You know, you guys all know that that's my favorite thing to do in New York, is to just like sip wine on a roof and just like look at the buildings and the skyscrapers. It's the best. 95 in Arizona. Oh my gosh. Saw a rattlesnake. So, okay. So I think you need a glass of wine because that's terrifying. Okay. So BK pink and green. Not here. We go on to the next one. Generate. 85. 85. 85. Anna's Wine Shop. Is Anna's Wine Shop on today? 64 and sunny in San Francisco. That's beautiful. That's like perfect running weather. Like I love when it's like a little bit of a nice breeze, maybe a little bit of that coastal breeze popping through. 93 in San Antonio. What is going on? Anna's Wine Shop. And it's raining in Paris. Womp womp. But Paris is my favorite city, so. Anna's Wine Shop, going once, going twice. All right, guys, we keep going. We keep going. Number 102. Yes, next. 102. 102 is Mackenzie Roberts. Is Mackenzie Roberts here? Everyone's like, next. Man, I know. I mean, I didn't go over 30 minutes. I really was like, normally my lives are like 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it brisk, to the point. We're going to learn something. We're going to do it in 30 minutes. And we're going to make sure that everybody's on. Okay, we're going to go on to the next one. Did we do 84? 84. Let's see. I don't think we did 84. Windy Road. W-I-N-E-D-Y-R-O-A-D. Windy Road. I feel like I saw a windy road on here earlier, but I'm not sure. Let me just clean the mess up. I gotta be, oh, they're there. Woo! Awesome. Congrats. By the way, I just want you guys to know, for the winner of the Zalto glasses, that I myself only have one Zalto glass. We won't get into how that glass broke, Michael, but I actually only have one Zalto glass now, and so whoever just won this giveaway today has more Zalto glasses than me. So congrats. I'm so excited. Windy Road, go ahead and DM me, give me your name and your address, and I will connect with Jadot, and we will get you that wine.com gift card. Congratulations. I hope you go, and I hope, you know what, I hope that you buy a bunch of Jadot wine. This is what I'm taking out to the patio. Thank you guys all for coming. And just so you guys know, before I pop off here, next Sunday brunch is Mother's Day. And I'm chatting with a small producer from Muscadet. It's Muscadet for Mother's Day. And we're doing it a little bit early, 1 p.m. because she's got like 3 young kids and she's in France. So the time change is a little wonky. So we are changing times. I know it's a little bit crazy because we're used to doing 3:30, but just next week, 1 o'clock. So,
someone wants to know about notes about this.
Someone wants to know about
notes, quick notes on the Pinot Noir.
Quick notes on the Pinot Noir. Okay. Well, I didn't have this open for today, but I will tell you that on the back of the label, it's absolutely excellent because it'll tell you that you'll find plums, raspberries, and cherries on the nose, fresh fruit in the mouth, well-balanced acidity, smooth tannins, perfect for roasted chicken, pork, or grilled fish. So you're gonna probably find some wild strawberries, some red plum, some earthy notes, maybe some dried leaves. Those are the things that you'll be able to expect from this bottle. So definitely DM me if you have any more questions about these wines. I'm happy to assist you. And I hope you guys all had a great time. We'll see you next Sunday. Cheers, guys.